basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. The Warriors don't want to pay the salary that Jonathan Kuminga wants, and this is becoming an impasse for a new contract extension. During the season, Kuminga's income will be distributed, and other NBA teams have already shown interest in the player. Philadelphia 76ers signed Jonathan Kuminga. While multiple players selected in the 2021 NBA Draft received rookie contract extensions this week, Golden State Warriors forward Jonathan Kuminga was not among them. For those who have followed the relationship between the Warriors and Kuminga, this was to be expected. Despite his status as a top 10 pick, he's had to claw his way into the rotation. At first, it seemed like the natural byproduct of being on a veteran-laden team hoping to keep their dynasty alive. The only reason they were even able to draft someone like Kuminga was because of an injury-riddled 2020-21 campaign. However, it's become clear that Kuminga's real problem is that he's a square peg trying to fit in a round hole. The Warriors want him to zig, but he's more comfortable zagging. It's certainly worth questioning why Golden State would draft a player who didn't align with their offensive philosophy. Nonetheless, the fact is that he and Golden State don't look like a match. Though the Warriors couldn't agree to terms with Kuminga on an extension, NBC Sports Bay Area's Monty Poole reports that the youngster was looking for an annual salary that was north of $30 million. Yet, Bleacher Report insider Jake Fisher reports that the Warriors would be happy to pay Kuminga a lucrative salary if he demonstrates that he's worth the price tag. Therein lies the problem, as Kuminga's clunky fit in the first unit could impact his reputation and opportunities. That being said, Fisher names the Philadelphia 76ers and Brooklyn Nets as teams that target Kuminga, paying him the money he's looking for from Golden State. Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers have definitely indicated around the league and behind the scenes that they are willing to pay and add in another piece right now, says Fisher. They are willing to spend their draft capital. Fisher notes that Kuminga could be swapped for KJ Martin due to the latter's salary. Of course, the Sixers would also have to give up some of their draft capital. Kuminga is a better scorer than Martin while making a similar impact in other areas in the game. That being said, if this was the route that the Warriors decided to take, Kuminga would have to be moved before the 2024-25 trade deadline. Alternatively, the Sixers could try to complete a sign-and trade with Kuminga when he becomes a restricted free agent. If so, players like Kelly Oubre Jr. could be on the move as well. Brooklyn Nets. As far as the Nets are concerned, the idea wouldn't be to trade for Kuminga, but to sign him outright. To that point, Brooklyn is projected to have $80.1 million in practical cap space next offseason. As a rebuilding team, this makes plenty of sense. There's already been rumblings of Brooklyn potentially willing to throw a big offer sheet at Jonathan Kuminga. For starters, the Nets can exercise patience with Kuminga as he gets the reps he needs to mature his game. On top of that, Brooklyn is something of a blank slate, with center Nick Claxton their only definitive cornerstone player. As a result, Kuminga doesn't have to try to fit into an established system or rotation. In fact, the Nets could opt to build around him. Why have the Warriors held off on extending Jonathan Kuminga? Jonathan Kuminga was believed to be seeking a maximum salary or near-max contract ahead of Monday's rookie-scale extension deadline, which is why he and the Warriors didn't agree to terms on a deal, Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report said Friday on the BR app. However, Fisher believes Golden State will be comfortable paying Kuminga big money if he shows this season that his impressive stretch from January to March was no fluke and he continues to take strides toward stardom. The Warriors will be happy to pay Jonathan Kuminga that top dollar if that sample size is stretched out over the entire course of the 2024-25 season, Fisher said. Still, Fisher noted that Kuminga isn't necessarily a lock to remain with the Warriors long-term and suggested two potential suitors worth keeping an eye on for the fourth-year forward. One is no surprise, Brooklyn is currently the only team projected to have maximum salary cap room, and Fisher says Kuminga has come up in past trade talks between the Nets and Warriors. The Nets aren't necessarily specifically targeting the 22-year-old, Fisher clarifies, but their cap situation makes them a potential threat when Kuminga reaches restricted free agency, especially since general manager Sean Marks has shown a willingness in the past to sign RFAs to lucrative offer sheets. The other team worth watching, according to Fisher, is the Sixers, who would only have a chance to acquire Kuminga on the trade market. Philadelphia has conveyed a willingness to give up draft capital to add another impact player, Fisher explains, and could use KJ Martin's pseudo-expiring contract as a salary-matching piece. That sort of deal may not appeal to the Warriors, and acquiring Kuminga and then paying him in free agency would result in a massive payroll in 2025-26 and beyond for the 76ers, who already have 3 players on maximum salary contracts. But Fisher suggests Philadelphia has a lot of willingness to go deep into luxury tax territory for the right opportunity to cement their title window. Here are a few more trade notes and rumors from around the league. According to Fisher, Trey Murphy was another player believed to be on the Nets and Sixers' radars as a potential free agent and trade target, respectively, but he's off the table after signing a 4-year, $112 million extension with the Pelicans. After identifying Celtics guard Jaden Springer as a trade candidate last week, Fisher reiterated that point in his rumor roundup on Friday, noting that moving Springer at or before the February trade deadline would create tax savings for Boston and would open up a roster spot for Lonnie Walker or another player. Fisher added that the Celtics recently called a number of teams to gauge Springer's trade value. The Sixers, Heat, Bucks, and Suns are among the teams that have spoken to P.J. Tucker's representation about a possible trade, sources tell Kelly Iko and Law Murray of The Athletic. As we relayed on Thursday, the Clippers have granted Tucker's agent Andre Buck permission to talk to potential trade partners to try to find his client a new home, but the veteran forward's $11.54 million cap hit will make it difficult to find a deal that works for LA. Are the Warriors still legitimate title contenders? Draymond Green still believes so, especially with Steph Curry on the court, according to Marcus Thompson II of The Athletic. I know I'm not finished. I know, Curry isn't done. So it's not like, okay, I feel like I'm at the end. I'm making a profit. No. I know we can do it again. I'm not part of the consortium that thinks we can't do this. But when you do it again, you have to recognize that it's not going to be the same as before. I would struggle if we were just making a profit. This is not for me. But I don't feel like anyone around here is doing that. We are actively trying to put the pieces together to build, Green said.